eyeball. Can you see that with your eyeball? This mic court like my ball. I'm dope with draws. They at my feet like understalls. Overall, you couldn't fit my overalls. Not just cause
Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is your friendly neighborhood knucklehead, and this is the Part-Time Artist Podcast, episode 174. Thank you so much for joining me here on this awesome Sunday, Monday, whenever the hell this ends up going out. But before we get into the show here, I want to remind you guys that there are some ways to support the podcast. If you check out the links in the description, there's some affiliate links there. They are totally things that I use. There's DistroKid. You can get a 7% off by using my DistroKid code there to get all of your music on streaming services. There's also a code there for MailChimp. MailChimp is something that I use for landing pages, email automations. If you have a mailing list for your, artist or business page or whatever, MailChimp is a really cool thing to use. And also, brand new, there's a referral code for Visible. Okay, Visible is if you're in a pinch. I got in a pinch and I needed a new phone plan. With Visible, I just went on the website and I got an eSIM card, and within an hour, boom, I had a phone plan, and it was only like $25 a month. There's no contract, there's no bullshit. So if you click that code with visible.com, I think you'll get $20 off of your first month. So it might even be your first month completely for free. You can definitely check that out. Because cell phone plans are just bullshit and so technical, and seems like they want to screw everybody. But Visible, I think it's on the Verizon network, so you got a good network and it's really cheap, so that's why I went with that. There's also a couple links to donate if you have the means. It's definitely appreciated, because here at the Part-Time Artist Podcast, we are trying to be full-time artists here. So that's very much appreciated. Also, lastly, it is February, so it is time for our annual Black History Month radio show. Featuring exclusively Black and artists of color. That will be at the end of the month. So there's still time if you want to get your tune in there, or if you have a friend that you think you might, reach out to them, give them my information. If they want to have their tune on the Black History Month radio show, there's still time, but it's starting to fill up. Might even be full already, but there's still time. I'll just say that. And we got a really, really cool show today. I can't wait to get into it. You know what? Let's just jump into it right now. All right, I have with me a very, very special guest. Really excited to get into this episode because there's a lot to cover, and I want to try to cover as much ground as possible, because I do have a lot of questions. I am very interested. There's a lot going on with your story that I want to get into, but for right now, I want to welcome everybody to Richard House. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes. No problem. Thanks for having me.
Now, Mr. House music, Richard, house party records, there's all types of connotations that I've seen. But the first thing I wanted to ask you is I want to do a fast five here. All right, these are 5 fast questions, and they're all about your favorite. We're gonna do 5 faves here, and just whatever the first thing comes to your head, I just want you to say. All right, does that sound cool?
Okay.
All right. So the first thing, very easy. What's your favorite color?
Red.
What is your favorite song right now?
Falling for You by Nicki Minaj.
Okay, what is your favorite, because I was doing some digging on you, but what is your favorite forest activity? What's your favorite activity to do in the woods?
Look for walking sticks
Look for
that fell off trees.
Look for
Yes.
walking sticks and shooting music videos. What's your favorite T-shirt that you have?
The one with me with the devil's mask on it. I'm not a devil worshiper. I just like that T-shirt.
All right, and lastly, I'm not a devil worshiper. I love that you have to clarify that for everybody. Lastly, what's your favorite thing that you did yesterday?
I shot a music video.
Whoa,
yesterday.
that's awesome. I'm
Yes.
shooting a music video is so interesting. Like I don't know how long do you usually sit on on an idea for a music video before you like get the balls to be like, you know what, I'm gonna start scripting this out and shoot it?
2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. Damn. Yeah, I know.
Hey, I'm showing you the desk right now. It's a mess because I have literal ideas that I plan on implementing in like 2025, 26 that I write down now.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
about
God.
2 to 3 years.
Oh man.
2 to 3.
Being an artist is just a mess. Do you consider yourself a part-time artist?
At this point, no. I'm trying to, but like right when I get off work, I go straight into being an artist typically, and I'm usually. My philosophy is I work from 9 to 5, and I'm an artist from like 5 to 5. So at this point, no.
Yeah.
Yes. At the same time, I guess I'm not making millions, so
Sure.
if I'm not making millions, I consider myself part time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody has like their different perspective on this. This is why I ask, because there are some people that like, some people really like consider themselves part-time, and then some people really consider themselves full-time, you know, and some people are like, I'm an artist even when I sleep, and I'm like, yeah, I guess we all kind of are artists even when we sleep. Now, Richard, you're originally from St. Louis, right?
Yes. Yep.
And now you're in Seattle.
I am. Seattle, Washington, PNW.
Wow. First of all, shout out to Stoker and my other friends in St. Louis. But what is Seattle like?
Rainy.
How does it compare to St. Louis in terms of like, I guess your headspace, and in terms of if you've observed like the music scenes?
I have. As far as my headspace, because I don't know many people here, so there's that distance. My headspace is super clear because it's not crowded with like family and all my friends. I got new start, clean slate. So I've wrote a lot more since I've been here. I've been able to flesh out a lot more ideas since I've been here, like tour and all that stuff. So it's definitely given me a much clearer and more precise headspace. Because I'm away from everything and everyone, like not like a hop and jump, like 2,000 miles.
Yeah, for real.
Away. And in the music scene, they're very welcoming. It was really weird. Like when I first got here, like I met one girl. Her name's Iman. Just shouts out to Iman. She's a photographer and also a musician. And she was taking pictures for me, and she just introduced me to like a plethora of people. And it's like every time I get introduced to someone here, they're always like, "Oh, hey, Richard, meet such and such, by the way." Or, "Hey, Richard, meet such," because they know I'm new. And so, you know, not a thing in the St. Louis scene. Like I think the St. Louis scene is you kind of have to earn your keep. Whereas here, I feel like they're a lot more, you know, they share the connection more. And I will say it's very, very, very large and diverse music scene here. There's always shows every day. Like, there's literally like every weekend I get invited to like 4 or 5 shows a piece at least. There's always shows.
Wow.
Very bustling music scene. Lots of music resources, lots of rehearsal spaces, venues. It's very abundant. I haven't dug into it yet. I'll get into it in the summer, but it's very abundant as far as resources for musicians as well. Plethora of photographers, videographers. You don't need like the city itself is just a good backdrop because of all the water, the boats, and all that. So if you're going to like shoot a video, it's like it just provides itself to you. It's very easy to shoot a video here. The skyline at night is very beautiful, and there's this one place called Cary Park you can go. It's like the tip top point of Seattle that's
Right.
free, that's open till 2 in the morning. I've seen tons of people shoot videos up there.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city and a wonderful scene. Like they love to share. Like I've not met anyone that's not been like, hey, Richard, you're new. Like meet such and such. This is such and such. This is Richard. And I kind of already have like some bones in the scene. I'm surprised. Because in St. Louis for 4 or 5 years there, I was just grinding, trying to get my teeth into the scene and like be like, hey, I'm Richard, and this is who I am. This is what I do, and yada yada yada. Whereas here, I got here last March, and like I already feel like like for example, I shot a video yesterday, right, with people from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already like have skin in the game here, so that was really weird at first because I was like, wow, I thought this would take 4 to 5 years, but
Wow.
no, much quicker.
Yeah, there is something about like just jumping in like you did, like you said, you don't know too many people out here. Like you just jump into the deep end and see if you can swim. What was it initially that prompted you to choose Seattle of all places to relocate?
My husband, he's a breadwinner.
Ah,
He got a job here.
Okay.
He got a job here. He's a breadwinner. We're married. Got to be a supportive spouse. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to do the right thing, I guess, and come with. So I'm just following him.
That's awesome, though. I mean, I
think
I
would probably choose somewhere more central, like Atlanta, or
Right.
stayed in the center of the country, but he wanted to also be away from family and all that stuff and kind of start anew. So we're all the way over here.
That's something though that I think it's so, I mean, obviously the artist lifestyle when you're a musician is to go on the road, usually, but I think traveling and getting out and living in different places is something that is essential for creative and artistic people to do. There was even, God, who was it? I think it was David Lee Roth and Van Halen said, like, for 10 years, I was never in the same place for more than 2 weeks or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, it's a little bit extreme, but I think...
In the moving cost, which he probably had because he's a part of Van Halen. Yeah. I'm just looking at, like, the moving costs, like, Jesus.
Yeah, well, I guess he was just technically homeless. He was just like hotel crashing from place to place and traveling. But I think, and I wrote a blog on this, but I think now more than ever, artists just have to be adaptive. Like that's like the number one skill. It's like, okay, I'm going to be here now. How am I going to make this work as a creator, as an artist? And, experiences like this, like where you relocate, they might seem scary at first, but then when you get there and you realize like, wow, like I have time and space to think here. I don't have family, calling me, asking me to come over or, this and that. I have to help this person move. I have to help this person, whatever. It's just me, and I think there is like a lot of power in that.
And that's exactly what's happened. Like, there's a whole album that was not wrote that I didn't know was coming out. That's now coming out because I've been able to write it since I've been here. And just a bunch of other, tons of. I've evolved so much in this a little under a year as a businessman, as a leader, because there is that space. Even as like a mental health professional, I've evolved so much because there's that distance, so you get to also pay a lot more close attention to yourself because there is that space.
Yeah.
So even just overall as a professional, as a human being, as an artist, I think this move helped me in so many ways because I was very, I don't know how many people know this. I'm a therapist. That's my full-time career. Wow. So I'm a helper at heart. So it's in my natural instinct to be of service, right, to family, to friends. And so when I was close, I was of service a lot, even outside of my work. And so now that I'm not there and there's that distance, I'm not able to be as of service physically, right? And so I get to, spend more time focusing on me. Like I've learned a lot about myself in this last year that I'm thankful for.
Perfect.
I've learned a lot about what I need to improve on. I've learned a lot about what I need to do. I learned a lot about my visions. I've learned a lot about how I like to operate myself as a business, as an artist, like so many things personally and professionally. I've learned a lot. That's the 2,000 mile difference, I think. That when you don't have anybody dependent on you, the only person you turn to is yourself. You look inward, or that's just my belief. Is you look inward We don't have anything to look outward for. And I've embraced it more than ever. Like I always have, because I kind of have to when I'm a therapist. But I always this last year has caused me to look inward way more than I anticipated, and I'm so thankful for it. Like way more.
Yeah, I think that's all of these learning experiences. When artists are moving around, it's awakening a part of their brain, I think, where they have to learn things again. They have to learn, and I think this is a lot also why a lot of major label artists, they'll travel somewhere or they'll live somewhere while they're making an album or something like that. Like there's just something about engaging with the part of your brain where you're learning how to do shit again. Like you're learning like where do I turn to for this? Oh, where's the grocery store? Where are all these things? That it just awakens that part of your brain, which is almost like childlike, like you're ignorant all over again, and you have to figure it out. Now, before we get,
I totally embrace that.
Yeah. Now, before we get into this first tune, introduce to us House Party Records. What is House Party Records?
So House Party Records is my record label that I am launching this year. So for 5 years, I've been kind of doing my own thing, touring on my own, and I've done things that I wouldn't have imagined doing by myself a lot. And so when I sat back one day and I was like, what is something that I wanted to do? Because my biggest musical influence is Lil Wayne. And so I try to copy everything he does. And I think when I'm looking at myself, like, what is something he did? He gave us Nicki Minaj and Drake, two of the biggest rappers of all time, arguably. And I was like, I want to do a label too. So House Party Records is my label that I started with some St. Louis locals. We got Arch Guru, who's phenomenal lyricist, quite frankly, the GOAT, phenomenal lyricist, and then DJ Eggshells, who's just a phenomenal lyricist and creative guru all around. And then we have Emily, our creative director. So I just kind of came to them one day because they toured with me. My first headlining tour was this past October. I did Central US, and they were on it as openers. And so I think after I just watched them on the road and watch how hard they work,
sure,
and all this stuff, we started having conversations about like, hey, I'm starting this label. Or you guys want to be down? They said yes. And now it's, we just put out our first single on the label. Quite frankly, Single Depression. It's doing really well. But it's a record label now. So now I'm like, I've ran my career for 5 years, and I'm trying to see like if I can run a label for the next 5 and myself.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And a little birdie told me we might get a sneak peek at that tune for our radio show at the end of the month. So everybody definitely stick around and listen to our February annual Black History Month radio show. Now let's get into our first tune here. This is the tune off of your latest EP. Called No Type Beats, but this tune is called No Type Flow. Check it out.
Eyeball, can you see that with your eyeball? This mic court like Mike Ball. I'm dope with draws. They at my feet like understalls. Overall, you couldn't fit my overalls. Not just cause I'm tall. And look at what I didn't saw. I tried to listen, skip in some song. They like play that dope richer. I'm like, which song? Cause they all slap like piss moms. I pissed on anything they get on. Cause they style not mods. I decline. But anyways, let me recline. I'm watching them from my head cause they behind. You can kiss my behind. Meanwhile, I'm trending number sign. I'm borderline like up and down like all the time. Kill please leaving me mortalized. I kill y'all with one line, I call that genocide. Give them some management, they so unorganized. Me in the C notes, then harmonize. Cause who I like, they try to dichotomize. But my position already optimized. Might come to your city and colonize. Counting money, I'm preoccupied. Might hit you when I got the time. I'm so dope, I violate that they apologize. Accomplishing just what I hypothesize. Accomplishing just what I hypothesize. Yeah. be me, but can't see me or be me beneath me. Don't get too greedy. I might ration you, keep it no freebies. I heard your girl got the smelly cat, word the BB. I still don't watch TV. I come in many different forms, call me Evie. No congratulations, but how you get that? That's super creepy. I'm peeping my new album, I might leak it. Cause regardless, people gonna play it, then repeat it. I act the ass I'm streaking. Oh, we homies, you're reaching. Oh, we homies, you're reaching.
I ain't reaching, you ain't reaching hard. You tryna do all in my cars hard. I'm sitting off my lawn cause I'm hard.
What the squad? I'm about to go off. Wait, I always go off. Fuck they thought. See them strings they never bought. That's genuine attention that I call. Them help y'all career so much on my taxes a write off.
Right or wrong, I'm still most honest. So I keep ass niggas misunderstood. The assignment, no watch this, now watch them get my son. Fitness and watch them, I like them right there. I cop them internet warriors against toppers.
Window shoppers, but got the comment. That's nonsense. Don't comment unless you got about $10,000. And that amount modest. To be honest, ahead of class like I'm in the honors. I know y'all sharing lyrics like lockers.
All right, that tune was called No Type Flow, and you can get house party music at the House Party Records website, which is richardhouse, HAUS.net. And once you get to that very cool, very red website, you can look at the bottom right corner where you'll see a list to all of the tunes that Richard is selling, and we've been trying to convince Richard to get his butt over to Bandcamp because it's what the cool kids are doing. But for now, you can get
busy guy.
The tunes on his website. You can do it. I believe in you. Everybody, encourage Richard to get his tunes onto Bandcamp. Now, No Type Beats, the EP. You were, first of all, you make music together with your engineer, right? Ryan Ethos.
Ethos.
Now, what is that kind of relationship? Because I kind of feel like, oh, this is kind of like a band, but I don't know if it is like a band. Explain to me what that kind of relationship is between like lyricist and producer and stuff like that.
So for me and Ryan particularly, so he's been my engineer my entire career, like all 5-6 years. Like everything you've heard is by me has been engineered by him, besides like 1 or 2 songs. And I have like over 30 songs out, but the other 28 is engineered, been produced by him. And so when you work with somebody that close for 6 years, you develop a relationship with him, like a brotherhood with him. And I remember, so No Type Beats, the EP came to fruition the day I told Ryan I was moving, because the decision to move was very much based off of my husband's decision, and I kind of was figuring it out as he was figuring it out. I kind of was informing everybody on the fly, like, hey, by the way, I'm moving. So No Type Beats was like a culmination, or, it was Ryan's idea, because my initial instinct was to be like, after I get done doing this, because I wasn't supposed to tour anything this year or last year. And I'm thankful that Ryan told me to do this, because there's a lot last year that happened I was able to do. I was going to take a 2-year break and work on my second album and just be like, put the album out. I toured all over the country. Like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm going to go home, chill out, write the second album. And Ryan was like, it's a really long time and you're moving. Like, I really want to do something that like culminates or celebrates like us, like our relationship and all the work we've done together. So No Type Beats was the first project he fully produced, because usually what happens is I'll usually bring a beat to Ryan. He's never produced anything for me. He's only engineered beats that were already produced.
Oh,
this project,
okay.
The project that he produced and engineered.
Oh.
So we made this project in the span of about 2 weeks. Collectively, it was, we wanted something that kind of celebrated our relationship, because that, me moving, because I like to be in person in the studio. I don't like to do the whole remote thing. And potentially me moving was going to be the last time that we ever worked together.
Wow.
And so it was a combination of just our relationship and all the work that we've done. And because he helped me find my sound. Like, before Ryan, I was kind of lost in the sauce. Like, what is my sound?
Wow.
I think Ryan has helped me with that. There's certain effects. Ryan's helped me come up with my ad lib, my brand, he designed my logo.
Sure.
There's been so much of my career that Ryan has had his hands in, that this project, I think we both wanted something that was just like a stamp on like, thank you to each other.
Right.
Like, there will always now be something that forever connects us forever.
Yeah.
What the memories that I have with him, I think I have the best moments with him musically than anyone I've ever met. And I think no one gets like he does musically. Like I could send him something right now that's like 30 seconds long and spice this up in whatever way you think I'd want it. He'd send it back and it would be exactly like I wanted.
Right.
We just get, and I think this EP was the first full one he produced, all beats made by him. Where it was just us. There wasn't like any other producer or nothing like that. It was just he and I. And I'm very happy and very glad about the reception to it. I'm very, it helped me unlock some things that feel like I had been missing. Like a song like No Type Flow, I was in writer's block. And I remember I was doing a show in Boston in the summer of 2022. And because these songs also are like a year old by the time they came out.
Sure, yeah.
Beats were, because he had produced the beats a while ago. But when I heard him, I was like, I don't know if I want to put something on it yet. And then when I found out I was moving and he was like, we need to do something.
Sure.
I was like, okay, pull up those beats.
Let's do it.
When he pulled them up, I going. And we recorded all that whole project top to bottom in like 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I definitely took note when I was, listening through everything that you have on Spotify, and people can also find Richard House on Spotify. But when I was, listening to everything here, it definitely occurred to me. I was like, wow, this EP was definitely more of a lighter. It definitely had more of a lighter energy to it, whereas the stuff in the past, like in 2021, like the Diary and then the Deluxe Diary, like there was a bit of a darker edge to it, and there was a lot of like even like themes of like partying and it just felt like there was more edginess to it, and even the cover here where you have like two old guys who looks like they're on vacation or something.
So the black dude is me older, the white guy Ryan older.
Yes, that's what I was putting together, and they're both smiling so wide, and I was just like, oh wow. As you were talking about this thing with Ryan, I was just like, I bet you this is some sort of symbolism here between you two guys. Wow. But it must be so, I mean, it's so cool to have that relationship, but then at the same time, there's this element of the unknown where it's so cool to kind of outgrow it a little bit and challenge yourself to maybe go in a different direction. I mean, I think some of us, the fear of the unknown can be so deep, but I think it's really cool that you're jumping into it.
I've already found my other person here in the PNW that I think gives me that right. That album that I wrote. It's a joint album with me and him. His name's Krill.
Awesome.
And he and I just click. I don't know. So it's I've already like moved because I never like to think I'll move on from Ryan. I think there's some point in the future that I'll swing back.
Yeah, cool.
But like for now, I think this other, because I'm very big, like even down to the photographers and the videographers I use, I like personal relationships. Like I don't like to use a bunch of different, I like to go to one person, develop a relationship with that person. They know my taste, they know what I like, they know what I want. So I'm very, I don't have a backlog of photographers, a backlog of DJs, or a backlog of bands. I usually use the same people because I'm a therapist. There's a therapist in me. I'm very big on like that interpersonal relationship. So it's, but I found my very PNW version of Ryan, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So you're a person that likes to have a small circle, but a strong circle.
Reliable. Because if I've worked with you before, but I know you're reliable, and I'm a busy guy out on the line right now, so I need people who can come through, and I need people who can, and that's why everything's been working the way it's been working for me, because of the people I use and the reliability of them.
Wow.
Even down to my book, right? Even down to the booker, like got one book only work with one booker or one management team, one, that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
if they don't work, I'm going to manage myself, or I'm going to go find another management team. Like, I like to keep it that way because I've seen these situations. I've never been in a situation where there's been like a last minute cancellation or anything like that simply because it's so close to the hip. Like, because I have this person's number and I can call you and I can,
Right.
I'm aware all the time about any factor going on with every. If it's gonna take you longer to edit something, I know that already because we're calling each other, we're texting each other. I have your number. Yeah, I like to keep things close to the hip. I'm sort of not a control freak, but low key a control freak.
Well, I mean, you know how you want to have it. Like, you know what you're comfortable with, which is good. Something I want to ask you, I guess, last question about the No Type Beats EP. What was your favorite song to make?
Oh,
it can't be that tough. There's only a few songs on there. There's only like 5 tunes.
And one of them isn't a song. It's
right, exactly.
My favorite was Interrupt because it features an artist called Lil Medium, a local St. Louis artist that I had been wanting to work with for a while. Right. And I didn't know Ryan had a personal relationship with him. I was just joking. Me and Ryan were sitting in the studio listening back to it. I was like, because there was an open verse.
Wow, surreal.
He was like, you want to do something on this? And I was like, I feel like I want somebody on it. He was like, who? I was like, it'd be really dope. There's this guy called Lil Medium, and he was like, are you kidding me? I know him. And I was like, no, you don't.
Wow.
Literally, like 4 days later, Lil Medium's in the studio, like doing his verse. And I was like, yes!
You manifested it.
Yes, I wanted one. And he came and he wrote his verse in like 48 hours. And he came and did it. It was super professional and super. I really want to get a chance to perform it with them one day. But that's my favorite song because of that. I had been talking a while just about people in the scene. Like, I really like Lil Medium. Because, like, I'm very, like, I'll focus on one artist I want to collab with for a while. And then once I get that collab, I'm like, okay, let me start looking. Oh, I really want to work with. And for a while, it was a Lil Medium for me where I was like, I really want to work with Lil Medium. Like, I so bad. And so he came and did that. I was like, I have Lil Medium. Yes. And he okayed it. And he was cool to being on the project. And, I'm still shook a little bit by that because he was somebody, because he's been doing it longer than me. So he was also somebody I like looked towards working on shit. And so, it was really dope that he came and did that. So I was like, this is surreal. Like, yes.
That's amazing how you guys can do that because I gotta say, like, I've heard stories about, like, Jay-Z doesn't write anything down, like Lil Wayne doesn't write anything down, and, like, all the different processes for, like, rap artists in particular, like, it seems to be the complete and total opposite of rock musicians where rock artists, like, lyrics are the hardest fucking thing. And it's usually what's left last. Like, even, I heard a story where Green Day, in the 90s, they made this album called Nimrod, and they asked him, like, we went in the studio and we didn't have lyrics for any songs. And it was like, there was a lot of songs on that record. He was like, I'll never do that again. That was the worst thing ever. But then I hear all these stories where even Rick Rubin talked about working with Kanye West, where they were supposed to put out an album and it was like due in a couple months and there were still songs that didn't have lyrics. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to just fly out. And then when I fly back, I'll do it. And I'm just like, how the fuck are you guys coming up with lyrics? And it's not only that you guys are like coming up with lyrics, but it's like the art is almost more in the lyrics than it is in the instrumentation, which is again like the opposite of the rock world. So I have to give rap artists just so much respect for that in itself. But I wanted to ask you, like, typically, where do lyrics come from for you? Do you need to have the production kind of done first, or do you have the lyrics in mind before you even hear the beat, and then you're like, oh, I know the kind of beat that I want for these lyrics that I've already written? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out.
It varies. Sometimes there's like 4 different methods I have. So sometimes, because I do a lot of driving because traveling,
Okay.
I'll hear a song I'll be listening to, and I'll like the cadence of that song. So I'll write some lyrics in similar cadence, and then I'll save those in like a note. And if I come across something that I think relates to that or that cadence will sound good on, I then implement it. So that's a beat needed. The lyrics a lot of the time come from what's going on around me. I'm a very environmentally focused person. Like Diary was dark because in 2021 that's when my brother overdosed and died.
Wow.
So Diary was like just about where I was,
Wow.
So it's about where I am mentally. No Type Beats was wrote because I was excited. I'm like, Seattle, new place, new start. I'm getting away from all this trauma and family. I'm excited.
Goodness.
So I was in an excited space. So what's going on in my environment. And the reason my second album has came up is my second album is called Fun with a period.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm in that yet where I want to perform fun songs. No, that's just not where I'm at right now.
Sure.
So it's delayed. But so environmental, and then sometimes it's beats. Sometimes I need to be sent a beat now. Like Krill sent me beats back in like February. I just started writing to them like October. Sometimes I need to sit with them. Sometimes I'll drive to work and just pop on a beat and just listen to it over and over until something comes up. I'm very and like I'm not like every other artist in the streaming era where you can put out something every week or every other. I'm not that type of artist. I'm very much need to spend my like I said, the No Type Beat stuff was a year old.
Sure.
I need to spend a long time because like I'm a perfectionist as far as me and my lyrics and as far as me and my songs, and I just need so time is another factor of my lyrics. Like and also though, if like let's say for Diary, once I came out of that like grief headspace and I was more in like a fun headspace, I knew it was right. That's when I went to Ryan. I was like, I think it's time as well because I'm out of that grief. So that's also when I need to put something out. If I transition from one feeling or mood to the next. So if I am like frustrated a lot of the time, and then like I find myself being a lot more relaxed, that's my signal to be like, it's time to put something out because something shifted here. And it's not just the good stuff; it's bad. If I go from relaxed to being pissed off, that's also my signal to be like, time to put something out because there's a transition or a shift in your mood. But that's the biggest one. Like if there's a shift in any way in my mood or my internal space, then that's usually like put something out. But that's something I'm gonna put out and usually help me cope when I listen back to it, whatever's going on internally,
Wow. So let's jump into the Diary album that came out in 2021 and get a taste of that. This tune is called Shopping Cart. Check it out.
Maybe it's time to go a different route. Ain't it funny how they look down, but they lifestyle, a paycheck from lights out. Big money talking, so pipe down. Your mama house and couch while I'm out of town. Multiple times you foul out of bounds, and it's going down. Will we link up? I can hear little niggas, please speak up. I gotta lay hands on niggas, but niggas to get beat up. Cutting niggas off like a nip tuck. Niggas with me got the think tuck. In case you wanna bust, that's gay sex. I can't stand these niggas, I'm a racist. Sorry, I ain't see you new at Vitro from racing. Money old ancient, y'all niggas ain't shit. I talk shit like I ain't shit. I ain't it, you crazy. I'm amazing, made it. I'm so rich, I'm not complaining. I just left from a fucking vacation. Let go.
Now what a bag at? You see who got that last lap? I got that bag.
I got bags that's groceries. Handle beef like groceries. That lactose intolerant, they got no cheese. They low self-esteem, try to help them and intervene, but they still couldn't achieve. Couldn't see past their greed. Jeez Louise, not even the sorry or please. Now they wanna plead, cause they see I'm on a winning team. 2019, over 20,000 streams, and it's only me. I planned out the scheme to the extreme. Future bright beams, pardon me, they trajectory disheartening. Got green, call it gardening.
Now what a bag at? You see who got the last laugh? I got that bag. Now what a bag at? You see who got the last laugh? I got that bag.
Look, man, so much paper, make a book pen. Lips on him like a mic stand. All he do is vibe like a white man. Got the white man with the slight tan. These niggas creeping on me like a white fan. I'm selfish with mine. I'm never behind unless it's bump and grind. Beat me, someone tried and died. Money multiplied. I see the signs. It's mine. I'm referencing time. Pressure applied. I'm surprised at my state of mind. Top my position. I'm claiming mine. It's a cold world, so stay inside. Broke niggas make me sick. I broke out in highs. Tryna get to M's. McDonald's sign. Extra salt up on they fries. Bank account on big. Like the lip size. Counting so much I'm getting tongue tied. Thank God I can say fuck one time. Pay homage. That's your whole guy. We had to play and hold the whole time.
All right, that tune was called Shopping Cart off of the 2021 album Diary, and there's also a deluxe version of Diary. Again, you can get all the tunes at on Richard's website, richardhouse.net, and you can also stream them on Spotify if you're there. Now, something really cool that I stumbled onto was that you have... I think there's only one, but you have one acoustic version of a song. Acoustic version of a rap song, a hip-hop song, which I don't think I've ever heard that before. What?
No, so the song I have an acoustic version for is an EDM song. Sing too.
Okay, EDM song. Okay. Yeah. I've never heard that, like, transition before, and it was really cool to hear those different versions. I mean, this is almost like a country song, I would almost put it. What prompted you to do that, and how and what prompted you to even like put something like that out there? Like, you not only like had that tune, but you even recorded the acoustic version and then put it out there. What was the process behind having these two songs in these two different formats?
I love singing. A lot of people don't know that because it's overshadowed by my rap.
Oh, wow.
I actually, I think foresee for myself in the next 2 to 3 years transitioning out of rap for a little bit and just getting into like pop music more. Like some of my favorite singers of musicians of all time are singers.
Sure.
I think I sing beautifully, but I love I love singing. Like it's been my dream to lead a band, to do some rock. Like I want to explore singing more, and I think with Steady wasn't like on an album or anything. Steady was kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
But like because it was its own thing, I could like explore more, and I've been trying my damnedest to get back into that arena, but you know, with all the opportunities and stuff, and you know, Brandon and all that, I wanted to put it out because just to show people like, hey, I sing too, and that is my favorite part of performing, when I can sing that song or other songs. I love that because you can play with your voice, crowd can play, you know, because there's a part I do with that song where I play with the volume where I'll tell the crowd, steady, and I'll say, go Lord, steady. Love singing. Like,
wow.
That's that. Like, I want to sing more, and I plan on it, but.
And I'm judging by your background that you were the one that recorded the guitar too. Or no?
Some of it. I'm more versed in the piano and the keyboard, okay, which is somebody not as versed in the guitar, but I can show you what I want. So what I did was I showed the guy like, hey, this is what I want. And he took what I gave him and was like, this. And I was like, yes. And so I guess.
Yes.
Give him the reference. I get the shitty reference.
Okay.
I ain't touched that thing in like 6 months. I did play with this yesterday.
Here I am. I'm just like, oh man, he's got every instrument there. He must play everything. Here I am. Yeah, you can't judge.
Like, it'd be like a basic.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
What's that Metallica song? I can do something simple like that.
Sure.
Something more complex, like I listened to Black Key song recently with Dan Overbach is like one of my favorite musicians, where he is fucking riffs. I'm like, I can't do that. Like there's no way. Like there's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Learn, get like a month or two, but yeah.
Now, what we have coming up for you, this tour poster that I opened up. This was one of the most bizarre posters I've ever seen, and it's so ambitious for somebody. But you had like every show was just the shows that you have coming up. They're just all in such radically different places. It's like a different state every gig. What is the process behind these show dates that you have coming up, and that you've already played a couple shows, definitely.
Places I've wanted to go to perform. So that's Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and then places that I feel need a rap reach. That they don't get a lot of raps. I kind of want to be that gay rapper that goes to these really rural cities and people are kind of like, what? And you'd be surprised. I went to some of the most rural places and that's where I sell out merch. That's where I, like some of these rural places where rap premiere a lot, because keep in mind, if I'm the first underground rapper you've seen and you come to this show and you get a different experience, you're going to remember that. It's going to be something different for you. And you're going to be like, holy shit, that was awesome. And that's been the experience, this whole entire tour. It's not the major cities. For those, the Idaho and the Salt Lake City.
Yeah,
and all that.
we have Idaho. I've never seen Idaho on a. This is a first for me to see Idaho on a poster from somebody that's on the podcast. That's hilarious.
Yep.
Yeah, and also something that I knew on a whim one time. We were on the road. Oh my god, I got a hair. When we were on the road, we had the hardest time trying to book shows on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I was like, fuck it, let's just take those days off. And then while we were on the road, I was like, you know what? Mondays and Tuesdays are popular like open mic nights. Let's see if we can just play open mics. And when we were on the road, Mondays and Tuesdays open mics, when we would show up there to play like as a band, most places were just like, fuck yeah, like please, because we're tired of the old dusty people that are coming to the open mic week after week playing the same shit. And it would be the same experience. Like we would get donations, we would get free food, we would get people would buy the merch. Like some tours, the open mics were the best shows. What's your favorite show that you've been on so far? Because you're halfway through the tour now, or at least halfway through the.
I'm booked until October, so not even half. My favorite show thus far hasn't happened yet. New York City.
Oh wow!
On March 3rd. Because
where are you playing at in New York?
Caffeine Underground. 6 to 10.
Underground. I've never heard of that. In Brooklyn. Okay.
But it hasn't happened yet. I just got this feeling about New York that it's just.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe because it's the birthplace of rap. I don't know. But I think if you act so far, when I'm in New Orleans back in October, I think it was October 21st or the 20th.
Oh yeah, the Buku Lounge, right?
Yeah,
that's a legendary spot.
We did that. It was packed. I was surprised because I was like, I'm an underground rapper. Why is this packed? I'm from New Orleans. Like, what's going on? Like,
New Orleans is like that, man. New Orleans.
Like, in St. Louis, because I got to come home, and like, it was the first time my mom came to one of my shows and my sister.
Oh my God, yeah.
That was sold over 100 tickets. Like, it was just wall to wall packed.
Wow.
So that was pretty dope to see because it was like a combination of like, damn, you did it. Like, you really worked hard. Now look at this. This is your hometown coming out to like root. And it was the start of the tour, so it was a nice send off for the rest of the, because we did 4 dates back to back. We did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We did St. Louis, Tennessee, Atlanta, New Orleans, like back in 4 days. And so like to start off like that for St. Louis was really dope. I changed my answer. St. Louis.
St. Louis, so okay, back home.
We're sent off in the right
Mama.
way, you know. Yeah. But New York is going to be, I feel like New York is just, have a feeling about it, right? New York is just going to be so dope. The artists I have opening for me, like I have some local artists. I got Prolific, HOA Boss Man, and Lyrics.
Cool.
They're all so dope. I've been a fan of Prolific since I met him in Connecticut a couple years ago. And it's the first time he and I will be seeing each other in like 2 years, although we message like every day on social media. I'm just so excited for New York. New York is going to be dope.
Yeah. And next time you go on the road, don't forget Philly, man. Philly's got some rappers here, man.
Philly was on the itinerary, but I had to pick between a radio interview and doing the date. So I was like,
yeah.
I'll just do the interview. But I'll probably be back because I want to do East Coast run like I did the Central in those 4 days. I want to. But I just didn't feel like dedicating. So right now, videos, dedicating the time to like reach out to venues, get booked, and it just I don't have time for it right now because of what else I'm doing. But I will at some point.
There's a lot on your plate. There's a lot there. That's definitely a common theme. Well, it was so nice to get to know you and your mission and your story here. I think it's really awesome and admirable to be in the mental health world and also be in the artist world. I hope we have more and more people in that headspace, and it seems to be more popular now, more than ever, that people are, crossing or at least bridging that gap between those two worlds. And and also incredibly ambitious to start your own record label. I hope nothing but the best. Richard, thank you so much for coming on the show. And this last tune that we're going to get into has such a cool music video. It's so fucking cool. I've seen it so many times. It's so rad. But you can also check out Richard on YouTube, Richard's YouTube channel, to see the cool music videos that he has out. This is an older tune, but it's awesome. This tune is called Reflect. Rip on, everybody.
House. Yeah. I thought it was time for a little bit of a story time or whatnot, because I think I'm coming up on 5 years, and I never really have gotten, I don't think that's the right way to say that, I really haven't gotten into kind of how this whole music thing started. Like the very moment I decided that I was like, okay, I'm gonna, do music, I'm gonna put this out into the world. So since we're revisiting some old stuff, I said might as well, just kind of tell y'all how that happened and reflect on it a little bit. Let's go. House. Hey, yo. I remember standing in that parking lot, thinking would I be here? Most probably not. We took a shot, drink not. I'm talking shots as in plans and plots. Expand it out, no hand it out. Smacking wrist if they hands is out. Better watch your mouth, I'm well protected. Not in religion, but in good investments. Respect it, I level. Hits got plethora. I changed the schedule, but still got better. Seats have several. I reached excelling. If you're not spelling my name when you say wins, misspelled it. This heat, I melted. They say I'm messy. I nevertheless them. I cut them like sexy and lesbians. They fiend for me like Jay and Jesse. And now it's just me. I adjusted, actually digging the adjustment. But I changed how I got it. Not 1 second. I lost some friends, but knowledge plenty. We go better together than them against me. Don't test me. It's very tempting. Clips never empty. Can't let you kid me. Or you get Richard Ricky. Either it's with it. If it get iffy, I'm switching cities, mountains and meadows. I'm picking lilies. Big backyard Apollo. We playing frisbee. And been poor since I hit my 20s. They sleeping on me like popping bird. I got the juice. Not talking simply. I like but not assembly. I'm calling class. This my assembly house. And that's kind of how it started. Not all of that, but most of that. Shouts out Ted, shouts out Shell, shouts out Royalty. And now we're here. 50,000 of you guys later, a couple shows later, and all those things. But I'm just super grateful and, happy. But hey, yeah, my roller Jada this. You see it? I'm the least favorite counting green, call me a naturist. I'm good in whatever that is. I'm on my Lil Nas X, still kissing me. Cause for them kids, feeling Blake lively. Checking shit out for my bucket list. Best believe them buckets hit. I spit so hard, it's self-inflicted, busted lip. You wanna beat? I'd rather power trip. Why PC bring censorship? I'm sick of it. Can we go back to when difference? Make the difference. Now stop until I get up, whatever that is. That's ownership. Gave my heart to this, like donuts did. I'm too cold, get the weather strip. When I focus on me, replenishing. When I see play in them sweats, Mortal Kombat, finish him. I'm confident and there's no diminishing. Used to be ramen the ravioli, now it's Hawaii or Dominican. I'm talking countries and mini man. No 50 cents, getting dollars, keep your 50 cents. I need my percent on the freeway. Bumping Adele while rolling in the deep end. Gosh damn, I'm heat 10, let me vent. Gosh damn, I'm heat 10, let me vent. House, hey yo,